Hey, what's up guys? This is Moin from Axeler. Today we got new Sophos XG firewall to configure for our clients. So let's unpack and get started. So we got the hardware test report, shows all the test Sophos did. We got quick start guide, we got a safety instructions, we got a USB cable, we got an Ethernet cable, legs, and power adapter. We have 3 types, so we're going to use the North American style. We got also antennas, so this is a wireless model. So let's move this away and let's unpack the firewall. So this is the Sophos XG firewall. This is XG115W model. So you got some LEDs for the WAN, LAN, and DMZ and power. We got 4 Ethernet ports, LAN, WAN, DMZ, and 1 shared. So you can have SFP for fiber. We got 2 DCN. We got 2 for the antennas. We got HDMI, so you can plug in your monitor. You got a USB and COM port. So let's connect the antennas and wire it, power it, and get it started to configure it. Okay. Here we go. So before we go ahead and configure this Sophos, let's check out the different models of XG firewall that Sophos got. So from their website, there are 3 different models: the desktop models, the 1U models, and the 2U models. The desktop models has 5 different types. The XG86 comes with or without wireless, same as XG106, 115, 125, and 135. The basic difference between them is the number of ports, of course, and the performance. If you look at the 1U models, it's in edge models, so it's always got like 6 different types: the 210, the 230, 310, and 330, 430, and 450. These comes without wireless, of course, because these are edge devices. The 2U models are the data centers models, and all they come with the high capacity in terms of number of ports as well as the performance. So we got the 3 different types: the 550, the 650, and the 750. Okay, so now I have the Sophos XG firewalls connected to the internet at the WAN port, and I have the LAN port connected to the local switch here, and I have also my laptop connected to the same local switch. So by default, Sophos comes pre-configured with the LAN IP 172.16.16.16 and management port 4444. So if you access the management, it will first prompt for accepting the certificate. So go ahead, accept, and proceed. Then it will show up the welcome initial setup welcome message. Just click to begin. So let's click to start the basic configuration wizard. First thing, it will ask you to enter a new admin account password, and it has to be at least 8 characters and should contain 1 uppercase letter and 1 small case letter and 1 number. So let's type in our password. There's a checkbox also here to if you want to install the latest firmware during the setup. Let's uncheck that. Of course, we can do this later. Let's accept the agreement and continue. So next thing is we'll do, it will check if you have internet. So either you can continue offline or you can configure manually if you know the service provider IP addresses. I have it, so I'm going to configure it manually. So now I configure the internet. We'll continue with the wizard. It will look for any mandatory firmware update, if any, and you must download and update to proceed. And now it's finishing up. It's updating the firmware, applying the configuration, and it's gonna reboot, and then we can connect and complete the configuration. And now the basic configuration wizard has completed and the firewall has rebooted. Let's log in and complete the configuration. So once you log in, the initial setup wizard will continue, and first thing, it will prompt you for the time zone. So select time zone and proceed. You can also change it, scroll down and choose the right time zone. So we're in Toronto, select Canada, American. Continue. Next, it will ask you to register, so it's time if you don't have a Sophos ID to go and configure, but always you can skip this for now and you can register it once you log in again. You have 30 days to complete the registration. Now it will download the license from Sophos. It will show up all the licenses that you have, and you can opt in for customer experience if you like. Now it's time to configure the LAN interface. You either can keep the 172, or if your LAN is different, you can configure. I have a different IP, so I'll configure my IP with these. And I will enable the DSCP. I recommend to start with like 20, or depends on the size of the network you have. Start with 16. Keep some for the static IP reserved. Continue. And since this box is a wireless box, it will ask you to configure the SSIDs. Of course, you can do this later. We can continue. It will ask you for the network protection configuration. You can protect users from network threats, enable IPS and IDS. You can protect users from suspicious and malicious websites. You can also scan downloaded files, and you can also send them to Sophos for further check. Continue. And now you can configure the backup configuration. So the notification email is the email that Sophos will be used to notify and sends alert to, or also Sophos has a feature to send backup over email, or you can configure it to be stored locally or to an FTP server. So let's configure that. Now, as all the configuration is completed, you can review that and you can apply it. So it's finishing the configuration now, and we'll reboot again, and you can log in and check again. So by this we have completed the initial configuration and the Sophos has rebooted. So let's log in back to its new LAN IP address. So it will prompt us to register again, as we skipped that from the initial wizard. It will ask you to create a new Sophos ID or log in with the one you already have. So I have already one. I will sign in with that and register. Once you log in with your Sophos ID successfully, it will ask you to confirm the registration. We show you the model number and the serial number. And here we go. It will show you if it's connected to the internet that registration is successfully. You can complete that. So once successfully registered, it will show you the licenses, and that's the completion of the initial configuration, and it will send you directly to the Sophos Control Center, the dashboard, and it will prompt you for any firmware update. As you remember, we skipped the update during the configuration, so it's come with the latest 18.03 MR3. It needs a secret password for the storage, a master key password for the storage. So we're gonna create this now, and it has to be 12 characters with upper and lowercase, and has some numbers. So by this, basically, we have completed the initial configuration of the Sophos XG firewall. There are more things you can do from the admin menu, things like configuring the Sophos firewall rules and policies, configure the intrusion prevention, the rules, and also configure the VPN. You can add and you can edit the network configuration, the routing, the authentication, so you can add an Active Directory server where the VPN can authenticate users from. And you can also connect your Sophos XG firewall to Sophos Central. Sophos Central basically is a place where you centrally administer and manage all your XG firewalls, as well as the endpoint agent and the intercept X agents from a central location. You need an account that is different than the Sophos ID account. That's a central account. So basically, you can go to central.sophos.com, register account, and then you can register your Sophos XG firewall with that account. And with this, our session ends. And I'd like to thank you all for watching, and hope I will meet you again in another video. Thank you.